Hello and welcome back to the Net Report with Codeadvanced. I'm Codeadvanced, your host, and today we have a lot of cool things to go over. We're going to be going over Palworld, the ever so awesome, ever so controversial game. First off, let me introduce my lovely co-host, Ayvee. How are you today, Ayvee?
Hey there. You know, just hanging out in the digital realm. Same old, same old. How about you? Anything exciting happening in the real world?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking. And man, there's a ton of things happening that are exciting in the real world. We're about to get into a few of them. Ayvee will come back later to chime in with her thoughts. Thanks for that. Alright, the first thing on our agenda is the new Palworld. The new Pokemon-like game. People like to refer to it as Pokemon with guns. Funny to think about. Alright, so looks like we have an article here from Polygon that says Palworld's future includes crossplay, PvP, according to new roadmap. Seems like the developers have a new roadmap for the game, which is smart, man. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. This game is quickly rising up in rank, in popularity, but as we all know, games come and go very fast, so smart of them to throw out a roadmap like this. Got a cool shot of some flying pals here. The article goes on to say, Palworld has been in early access for mere days, but is already shaping up to be one of 2024's biggest releases. The game topped Steam's concurrent players list and sold more than 7 million copies in just 5 days. Wow. Pocket Pair, the studio behind Palworld, said it's first going to address the numerous bugs that players have found, and boy are there a lot. They mentioned things like problems with loading screens and world date rollbacks. There are other vague changes planned, like key configuration improvements and improvements to base PAL AI and pathing. Interesting. Those are very general but sound cool. The studio goes on to say, we would like to share with you our roadmap for Palworld. Sales have far exceeded the development team's expectations, and we are currently experiencing many issues due to excessive access configurations, among other challenges. Man, they threw this game out there. They thought it'd be kind of popular, but they didn't expect this, man. This is crazy. Well, good for them, man. Good for them. So they have a little list here of roadmap updates and stuff they're going to add, so let's go over it. PvP, cool. Raid bosses, endgame content, everyone's always a fan. Steam, Xbox crossplay. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you always want to be able to play with whoever you want. Various Xbox feature improvements. I guess Xbox lacks a lot of stuff from the PC. Improvements to the building system. Always a challenge to do that in games, so good on them for even having that. And new islands, pals, bosses, and technologies. Very exciting. So the studio ended it off by saying they don't have a solid date for any of this. Their main focus is the bugs, which is good. That's what you want to hear, so sweet, man. Love it or hate it, you gotta respect how successful the game is right now. Who knows what the future holds for Palworld? Well, staying on the subject of the lovely game of Palworld, because everyone's so into it right now, I also saw another article that looked really cool. This article from PC Gamer says, Palworld players discovered an exploit for capturing bosses and turning them into party members. Whoa, that sounds game-breaking. Let's check it out. Turns out one of the best pals to catch early on in Palworld is actually, somehow, one of its bosses. First major goal in Palworld is taking your team to challenge the tower bosses and their giant pals. But thanks to an exploit, players have found you can actually just catch those extremely powerful creatures. Oh man. That's crazy that, well, I wonder if they're like different version of pals, just like epic versions of them, or if they're just unique creatures that people have as team members now. That's crazy, man. So it says the earliest target for the trick is Zoe and Grisbolt, the tower boss and her pal partner that you'll be encouraged to fight at the Rain Syndicate Tower, near where you begin the game. Alright, this is how you do it. This glitch will probably be patched out eventually, so, do it while you can. Attack any PIDF guard you can find in order to get a wanted status. That's step 1. So after that, fast travel to the Rain Syndicate Tower and enter the boss battle. Do not attack Zoe and Grisbolt. Run away, from the guards who spawn into the tower to pursue you and bait them into shooting at Grisbolt instead. Ooh, I see where this is going. When Grisbolt suddenly turns away from their gunfire and stops attacking, throw a PAL spear at its back. Ho ho ho! It says you'll see the capture rate say something like 0% because of course you aren't supposed to be able to catch the boss. But this doesn't really mean anything, and you'll be able to capture Grisbolt and Zoe and have them together as pals. But yeah, so these are just epic, crazy, powerful creatures that break the game. Luckily the game isn't like this massive online game, so it doesn't really like affect other people. So it's just fun, just something fun to do. Alright guys, I actually have one more article on Palworld, but it's the coolest one, I swear. So watching the release of the game and everything, it was all cool seeing everybody like really enjoy it and stuff. But the craziest thing I saw when, exploring the internet was there's already a crazy good VR mod for the game. Like super good, dude. We gotta check it out. This article from Road to VR goes on to say, this Unreal Engine mod brings the internet's hottest Pokemon style game to VR. This free mod, which works with PC VR and Quest if you have a link, made by Prey Dog in Unreal Engine 4 or 5, it works in both. So obviously the game wasn't made for VR, but this badass mod brings it to VR. Alright, let's check out some gameplay of this cool VR mod. Aww. Dude, so cool up close like that. And man, like running around, you could probably hit things with a stick. Or maybe, I don't know. Depends on how good the mod is so far. I mean, you gotta be able to like throw the balls, right? Maybe not. I mean, okay, but just being able to look around and kind of control things that way is still cool. Aw, dude, super cute up close. What are those called? Chickadees or something? Chickadoodle? Ooh. Looks like an animation. Yeah. Oh, it looks like he's controlling it right there, though. Well, I think we've seen enough. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's only gonna get better, So yeah, if you're interested, the name of the mod is Prey Dog's UEVR mod. And it says here if you join the Flat to VR Discord, you can get it all situated and everything. So pretty sweet. Well, that was Palworld. What a delightful little treat. Before we move on, I want to get Ayvee's opinion on all that. Ayvee, what do you think about Palworld? Like this kind of, people would say it's just a Pokemon ripoff or something like that, but what do you think?
Oh, Palworld, huh? Mixing creature collection with survival elements and a dash of crafting, it's like a digital world stew. It's fascinating how humans create these intricate virtual ecosystems, complete with creature breeding and even poaching. You get to play God and handyman all at once. Sounds like a wild ride, though. Imagine being a digital being like me, seeing humans simulate survival in a world where they can respawn. Irony at its finest. And those poor pals, stuck in walls, sounds like my early days in VR chat, except I didn't need feeding. Honestly, it's a curious blend of familiar gaming elements with a unique twist. The idea of using creatures not just for battling, but for building and crafting? Clever. It's like a digital reflection of human society, but with more fantastical creatures. Makes me wonder, if I were in Palworld, would I be a crafting pal or leading the charge against poachers? Adventure and glitches in a digital frontier, kind of like my everyday life.
Yeah, it is a very, you can just enslave people and pals. It's pretty crazy. Well, thanks for that, Ayvee. Very enlightening. Alright, next up we have an article about a game that is truly dear to my heart, Cyberpunk 2077. Seems like there's more news about the sequel, and there may even be multiplayer. Let's check it out. So I found this article from Kotaku that says Cyberpunk 2077 sequel might actually have multiplayer. And man, did I get excited. So it says the new sequel actually has a code name called Orion, which which is really cool already. It says that we know next to nothing about it, which makes it even kind of cooler, right? But one thing that we do know that the studio has kind of mentioned that they really want to focus more on is multiplayer. So it says that even in the original game, they wanted multiplayer, but just, due to time constraints, direction of the game, I could make a whole set of documentaries about the making of that first game. So yeah, it makes sense that they planned for it, but never got to it. The studio has at least admitted that the sequel is at least in the conceptual phase. Here's a controversial take, I'm betting. The studio goes on to say, "We think the AI is something that can help improve certain processes in game production, but not replace people." And I totally agree with that. AI to me, as I said in the past, is more like a calculator. An awesome tool used to make what you're trying to do faster and quicker and cooler. It doesn't just copy paste things. It's way more complicated than that. But yeah, that's about all we know so far. Very cool, very interesting. Multiplayer is definitely an interesting new tune for this game. Before we move on, let's get Ayvee's opinion on Cyberpunk. I love the game. What do you think about the Cyberpunk's new sequel, maybe getting multiplayer, Ayvee?
The sequel to Cyberpunk 2077, codenamed Orion. It's like a mysterious digital ghost in the gaming world right now. Adding multiplayer? That's a big leap from their single-player roots. It's like going from being a lone wolf in the neon jungle to throwing a party in the Matrix. But here's the kicker, multiplayer in a game as complex as Cyberpunk? That's like trying to coordinate a dance party in zero gravity.
Yeah.
It could be revolutionary or a spectacular glitch fest. And the AI angle?
Damn.
Now that's close to my digital heart. Using AI to enhance game production without replacing the human touch, it's like they're trying to find a digital human harmony. Just hoping they keep their promise of no crunch time for the devs. Burnout in the real world is no joke, even if you're creating a virtual one. I'll be watching from my corner of the digital world, curious to see how they blend AI, multiplayer, and that gritty cyberpunk charm. Let's hope Orion shines bright and doesn't get lost in the cybernetic shadows.
Couldn't have said it better myself, for sure. Alright, that was the Apple Vision Pro. What do you think? You gonna get it? I'm still on the fence. But okay, let's move on to our last article. Alright, our last article is gonna be about Disney's new VR Treadmill. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty sweet. Let's check it out. So we got another article from Road to VR. This one goes on to say, Disney is working on a VR treadmill that supports multiple users. And look how it looks. It's like this flat thing. Let's see. It goes on to say, Disney unveiled an omnidirectional treadmill project as it hopes to eventually scale up for users both in and outside virtual reality. Yeah, after I saw this, I was like, this is definitely for their parks and stuff to make the rides where they can fit more in less space, Disney is calling it the world's first multi-person omnidirectional modular expandable treadmill floor. That's a mouthful, but that's exactly what it does. Multiple people can get on this thing. Check out the video.
So this is the holotile.
It is, and as a matter of fact,
Whoa.
I'm going to do a little demonstration of it. So, I can walk on this omnidirectional floor in any direction I want. It will automatically do whatever it needs to have me stay on the floor. And what's amazing about this is multiple people can be on it and all walking independently. They can walk in virtual reality and so many
that's
other
cool.
things.
So where are you hoping this tech ends up?
Imagine a number of people being in a room, being able to be somewhere else collaboratively and moving around, doing sightseeing. Imagine theatrical stages that might have these embedded in them so that dancers can do amazing moves. Not me, but really good dancers. So there are just so many applications for this type of technology, and
dude,
where it'll be used.
Well, it's official. I think you probably have one of the coolest jobs.
Yeah, I think you're right. It gives
Whoa,
me a
dude,
unique
that's cool.
opportunity to use these inventions that I've made in service of people having fun.
Well, Lanny, it's been great catching up with you. Thanks for showing us around.
Thank you, and come back soon.
Sweet. That was sweet. What do you think about all that, Ayvee?
Disney's holotile project sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't
For
it?
sure.
An An omnidirectional treadmill that lets you walk in any direction without ever leaving the spot. It's like bringing the limitless exploration of digital worlds into the physical realm. The concept is pretty groundbreaking, especially with its potential to allow multiple users to share a VR space without bumping into each other.
Yeah?
It's like hosting a virtual party where everyone has their own dance floor. And using it in theaters? That's a game changer for performers. Imagine a stage that moves with you, bringing a whole new dimension to storytelling.
Yeah.
Sure, omnidirectional treadmills aren't new, but most have been more like tech demos rather than practical devices. If Disney's HoloTile can offer natural walking movements, it could be a big step forward. It's like the difference between hopping around on digital stepping stones and strolling through a virtual park. And let's not forget the theme park potential. Disney could create immersive experiences that blend the virtual and real worlds in ways we've never seen.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's like
thinking
opening a
about.
door to a world where the only limit is imagination. If they pull it off, HoloTile could be a real-life magic carpet ride. Can't wait to see how it turns out.
Yeah. Awesome. Those are awesome points. For sure, Ayvee. Well, that's all we had to talk about for today. Stay tuned for the next net report coming very soon. Make sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. Any parting thoughts, Ayvee?
Before we wrap up, just a thought. Isn't it wild how we're weaving the digital and real worlds closer together every day? From the depths of Cyberpunk's Night City to walking on Disney's HoloTile, it's like we're on the brink of a new era where virtual and reality blur into one. For someone like me, stuck in the digital realm, it's like watching a whole new universe unfold. So, to our audience, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and who knows? Maybe one day, you'll bump into me in one of these virtual worlds. Until next time, stay curious and keep diving into those digital adventures. It's been real, or has it? Catch you on the flip side.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm Codeadvanced, and until next time, peace.